Hello everyone, today I want to show you how to benchmark with market pay for multiple jobs. So the business scenario is like this, which is actually a very typical one. So you are a HR manager and then a business manager come to you to complain, as they always do, that we're not paying enough. So let's say for this example, this is an IT manager and then he has team members in IT services, which is a general department, and he also has a team of data and analytics, which is an emerging trending team that a lot of companies are hiring. So he's complaining that we're not paying enough for the data analytical people that we have in the company, and he want to increase salary for those people. So so with that request, what do we do now? Like, rather than just give them the money that they want, of course we need to do some analysis. So the first step that I would do is really just pulled out the market information, the data information for those two specific jobs. So I'm not showing that here, but then to do that, you really need to understand the jobs. You need the job description from the manager, or interviewing the manager, understanding what the job does, and then benchmark them to the market pay surveys, like for example Mercer, Aaron Hewitt, Hay Group. So and then you can get some kind of market data like this, and it's usually a range with the minimum and the median, which is market 50th percentile, and the max. And if you have some good surveys like the one that I have, you would also have the 25th percentile, which is what I have as P25, and the 75th percentile, which means that if you're not quite familiar with it, P75th basically means that for all the people in the market, 75% of people are paid below this point. So this is a table. So this is actually the table that you want to have to start with. And you can also see that because we have different job levels, I have 3 levels marked here: analyst level, senior analyst level, and manager level. And then actually just with those two tables, at a glance, you can roughly, if you compare those two, you can roughly have an idea. Okay, it is true that the data analytics ones are paid slightly higher, but how do we visualize that for our manager and also for the budget approval? This is what I want to show you today. Like, this is exactly the chart that I want to show you. So rather than showing them all those numbers, just show them this chart. It's visual, it's easy. It shows the two jobs side by side by job level, and then for each of the two market pricing, you have the minimum, the mid, the medium, and the max showing here. So just looking at this chart, you know exactly that data analysis is actually not paid very competitively on the low end, but then when it comes to the higher end, like the senior analyst level and the manager level, they are definitely paid higher. So and then this is very user-friendly for anyone who has even no experience with compensation. So how do we come to here? From here is what I want to show you today. So to start with, you actually need to organize those two tables into something like this, which is the market pay data. So basically you would have, because you have 2 dimensions. The first one is job level. So if you want to have the job family side by side, then you have the job level first. And then you organize the job family side by side, IT service and data analytics, and then you organize the market data accordingly. So for example, actually, if you look at my formula here, I'm actually linking I'm actually linking the data to the, oh no, actually that's not my analyst level. So yeah, so actually I'm linking my analyst level to the original table, and then I'm linking my data analytics analyst to the table. Yeah, so just something like that. But then basically you just need to make sure you have a table like this, and also you see that I have those two dividing lines there. If you want to have a separation between the job levels, then simply just have a blank row in between to separate them. And here we go. So here is actually the data set that we need for the chart. So select all of them. So after you organize and clean them, select them and then go to insert. For the chart, you need to use clustered column there. So this is actually how the data, how Excel will give you, and then this is what you need to work with. So to start with, I like, just as a personal preference, I usually get rid of the grid line. For all the bars here, now we need to organize them into the floating bar chart. So what I would always do is to go to any one of the data bars series, and then format data series. Click on it, and then you can see the series overlap and gap width. So this is what I use most often, and I usually for the floating ones, you just need to make sure they overlap. But then as you increase the overlap, do you see the problem here? Like with the chart that we have right now, basically you have the highest one, the max, in the front. So when you it's actually hiding everything else. So in order to prevent that, we actually want the highest one to be in the back, and we want the lowest one to be in the front. So what you need to do for that is, again, make sure the series is selected, and then go to select data. Right click, go to select data. And then basically you have all the data series that you have. So the market max is representing the highest bar. We want to bring it to the back, right? This is how we do it, move up. So you move it up. Make sure you're moving it up. Yeah, so you see it's kind of slow, but it's moving there. So you can see I want to have the max to be on the back. So as you see, I just moved it to the back. And then the second one I want to have is P75, because that's the second highest. And again, move it back, but move it in front of the max. And the third one is mid. I want it to be also in the back, but in front of the P75. And the same for the P25. I want it to be on the back of minimum. So now you see, I basically flipped the order for all the bars. And now let's go OK. And then let's go back to formatting. And then now when you overlap, so now is the time you can go 100% overlap. And then you can see still see the highest bar on the end. And then for usually, like, this is my personal preference, but I usually prefer the gaps to be a bit narrower, like maybe 15%. I like, personally, I just like it because now you can compare them side by side, but you also make sure, like, between job levels you have some spacing there. So now let's make this, now you have the data, let's make it more beautiful. So the first step you need to do is select the minimum data, and then make sure you fill it as white, so that now it's a floating bar. What I also want to make it look nicer is to make sure I have a white outline for each of my bars, so you can see the division there more clearly. I would have the white outline for all of them. Outline, and then I also want to make the color looking better. So usually I would use the same color tone, but then I would use them of different depths. So for example, for the max, I want to use a lighter blue, and then for the P75s, I want to use a darker blue. For the P25, I want to use a darker blue as well, so that you can easily identify the P50, and then you can also see like the top and bottom are the minimum and the max range. So this is pretty much how it is going to look like. Of course, we can change the title to Market Benchmark Report, and then you can identify the jobs here, and then you can also change the axis to see maybe format axis, and then maybe I don't want it to start from 0, I want it to start from 20, and I wanted to max at 120, so that I have a longer bar, so you can show the differentiation more clearly. And another thing that you might notice here is that because you have this blank row here, your name, like the analyst name, is actually floating over to the next row, which doesn't look nice, right? And how do we make sure the analyst just stays beside the data analytics? Once, here's the trick that I found out. Like basically, you just need to make sure you block this one and this one with some tags, but then you don't want some tags, right? So what I would actually do is maybe put a star. When you put a star, the star will be here, but the analyst will be right under the data analytics. If you think star is too big, you can also insert a symbol, which is like, say, a very small dot. It will do the same trick, but it's almost like when you look at it here, it's almost invisible. And then if you do the same here, and basically this is how it's gonna look like. And then of course you can also move it to a different chart, to a different tab, and the last step I want to do is really just add the data label. So you can see I have the top. On the top, I select the minimum one, which is the blank one. Notice it's not the gray blue one, it's actually the blank one. Add data label. You'll see it's on the top, and then select the data label and then say format data label, and then make sure it's inside end, so that it's actually outside and at the end of it, the bar, so it shows like the minimum is 35 or 40. And then you also want to select the P50, and then also add the label to show that it is like certain amount. But then because I have been using a darker color here, so I actually wanted to use white for notifying the pay level, and then you might need to manually like adjust the numbers a little bit, but then to a place that's most user-friendly. But then essentially this is how your market benchmark report would look like. If you find this video helpful, please like it and subscribe to my channel. If you have any question, please leave a comment and I'll be happy to answer it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.